Good morning, everyone. This is, it's 1 minute before 11, but I figured, you know what? You guys are here, been waiting patiently. We'll get started. And I'm sorry, I'm going to wave my hand. So today's session will be recorded for posterity. So fantastic. You can leave it a bit open. Yeah, so people can come in. And like I said, I know just a touch early, but I do want to get started. And so my name is Mickey. I've actually talked to a lot of you, which is fantastic at this conference. So that's, and can everybody hear me okay? I'm going to try not to put the mic too close. All right. So I actually last night started changing things up a little bit on this seminar because of all of you, because of all the awesome feedback I've been getting. So I'm gonna change things up just a touch. But what I'm gonna do first and foremost and get it, the most important thing, if you, don't worry, there's gonna be a lot of information, we can't remember it all. Just remember this. The most important thing is our email, support@clubrunner.ca. This is for your entire club. I want to make a really important distinction. If you're in District 6270, 6250, that's a Club Runner district. If your club doesn't have Club Runner, it's fine. Please call us, please email us. Your district is the umbrella that covers everybody. So even if your club is like maybe thinking about Club Runner, give us a call. We want to help everybody in the district. So it doesn't matter if your club has Club Runner or not, please contact us. And then we have the toll-free number. You can call that Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. We're in Toronto, Eastern Standard, but please give us a call. And then clubrunnersupport.com is our Wikipedia. It's everything you want to know about Club Runner. You type in attendance or bulletins or committees, you can find out all the information there. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to be, I feel like this is the third session in a row to talk about access levels, but access levels, just to begin with, is really important. It'll be very brief. We're going to talk about the full website versus the mobile app, and then a custom field. And then a lot of people had questions about social media and about integration, so we're going to discuss that. I want to show you a community outreach that a club in Texas is doing that I hope is going to help a lot of people. And then we're going to talk about Nova. Now, once again, this is my best attempt to see if maybe this could cater to what you had asked about yesterday. So if there's something that's not on this list, the most important bullet point is always Q&A. So please ask questions. Please just raise your hand, interrupt me in the middle. Sometimes we do the Q&A at the end. We're not going to do that. The Q&A is whenever you have a question. So if something pops into your head or you're like, oh, that didn't make sense, just raise your hand, interrupt me. I'd love to answer questions as we're going along. The first thing I'm going to just discuss very briefly is access levels. You're going to be moving through Club Runner. By the way, there'll be tutorial videos and all kinds of stuff in the future. If you're following along and you click on something and the menu item is grayed out, you don't have the access level for it. So talk to your club. You just need to upgrade your access level. That's the only thing I want to mention about access levels. It gets very much deeper than that. There's like 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, club executive access, club admin access. We won't cover too much of that today. We can if you want. If you have any questions about access, please do ask. But I just want to keep it kind of simple. I want to mention, because one of the things that you're going to be taking away from this weekend is, okay, you have Club Runner. What about the rest of your members? How do you get them on board? So we're going to talk about the full website versus the mobile app. Here's how a lot of clubs are starting to find success using Club Runner, which is they get the majority, like 80% of their members, they get them on the phone. That's the mobile app version of Club Runner. I'm going to show both. And then the full website is for like club executive secretaries, all of that. So let me show you first the mobile app. So the mobile app is a stripped down, simplified version of Club Runner. And maybe you've seen it already, but it looks like this. Sorry about the ads, that's part of the thing. So the mobile app. This is not the full-blown version of Club Runner. It's not meant to be. What the mobile app is designed to do is, first of all, fit on your small phone screen, right? Because people Most people, not everybody, but most people carry a smartphone around. So this is the entry point into ClubRunner, especially for those members who are not technical. So here you have the mobile app, you have these features in the mobile app, and that's the entire mobile app. So everything you see, all the menu commands, there's nothing else to the mobile app. It's going to expand. We're slowly introducing more features. But the whole point of the mobile app is, first of all, you carry around your Rotary Club in your district, in your pocket, and it's small and easy to use for those people who are scared of or even don't have a laptop or an iPad. So that's the big difference. The mobile app is meant for everybody, and you can't do a lot of things you can do on the full website. We're going to see the full website next. But we really encourage everyone to download the mobile app, especially if you're like, I'm not really good with computers. Perfect, the mobile app is for you. Very, very briefly, I talked about it a little bit yesterday, that there's some certain functions so hopefully the mobile app is intended, if you're like a regular member, you're not on a board, you're not creating events, you're not doing some of the heavy lifting of a club, you're just showing up to the meetings. You can, if I click here on, or tap here on club members, I can keep in touch with all my members. I can call, text, email everybody in my club. You might already have some of the contact info in your club, so hopefully that's useful. You can do the exact same thing for your district. So all the members in your district are here in the mobile app. You can find the club. You can do a name search too. Like I met Bob, I don't know what club he's in, just search for the name Bob. But you can find a club. I'm gonna go to random club here. Bottom left is members. And then you can call, text, email anybody in your district. So there's more functions than that. I'll give you one last function. So that's the member search, the directory and all that. I'm gonna go back and we want to talk about all events. So one big thing is your club is going to run events, and your regular members are going to need to register for those events. They can do it on the app. They can not only register for club events, they can also register for district events. And they can, if the registration has credit card payment, right, it costs $100 or $50, they can pay with their credit card right through the app, right on their phones, in their PJs at 10 p.m. at night. So
is that a PayPal app, or how does that?
Oh, the credit card?
Yeah.
So the credit card is set up between every club and the district. So the credit card providers that integrate with ClubRunner that kind of get built in, PayPal, Stripe, those are the two big ones. And then there's two lesser known ones called Worldline and Paya, P-A-Y-A. If you're curious, please, we'll talk some more about that, but basically it's set up at the club level. There's no cost in ClubRunner. Let's say you have PayPal or Stripe or whatever. You don't pay ClubRunner for any of that. It's integrated into the system. You'll still pay credit card fees, but you don't, like if you run an event through ClubRunner, you're not paying for the event in ClubRunner, you are paying for the credit card fees. We're going to try and amend that as well because, okay, we're getting a little deep here, but one of the new features we have in Nova, which we're going to talk about later, is something called a service charge. Because what a lot of clubs, okay, they might have to pay the credit card transactions. What if they don't have to pay the credit card transactions at all? What if you have like a 3% fee or whatever? You can build it into the event and say, if the user is paying with credit card, then they get the 3% fee. If they're giving you cash or check, no fee. So it's called a service charge. It's in Nova. We can take a look at it if you want later on. But like I said, I'm going to try to keep things slow. But please, if that wasn't clear, please raise your hand. Like I said, here's some ads. It's very easy to jump around because there's a lot going on in ClubRunner. Now that was the mobile app. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the full website. This is an example ClubRunner site. You might have seen something like this before. So the full website is where all the heavy lifting happens. This is the club management. I want to actually create the event. I actually want to send the bulletin. Those are the things you can't do on your phone, at least at this time. But here is where you can basically do the business of your club. So you can, you're going to go log in. Here, let me just go like this. I'm going to do this really quickly because I got a lot of people yesterday. Let's just go here. And they were a little just curious about the login process. So I'm going to spend just a second on this. You go to any club or district site. It doesn't matter which club you're in, doesn't matter which 62, 70, 50. At the always in the top right is the member login button. On 99% of ClubRunner sites, it'll always have a member login button at the top right. So I'm going to click there. Okay, and the login is kind of fundamental. If you don't have a login, you don't know your login, you can't use ClubRunner. So I'm going to spend just a second on this. So if you don't know your login, you're not sure, you've never logged into ClubRunner before, it's going to ask you first, please give me your username password. I don't know it. Okay, so you can, you have a couple options. It doesn't matter whether you forgot your username or password, it just sends you to the same screen. So you can click on either. There's something new, it's called a magic link. So here's how this works. Sometimes the way that, let me show you the way that's been around forever. I'm going to click forgot password, and it's a very simple form. And what I can do is I can just put in my email address and have my login information emailed to me. And in theory, that sounds fine. In practice, it'll land in your spam folder. It takes 5 minutes to get the email. Like, it's not perfect. Most of the time you get your login emailed to you, it works great. Every once in a while I'll be like, it's not in my inbox because it landed in spam. So I'm going to hit the back button, and we're going to talk about one other option. The first option you should try is to get your login information emailed to you. It's the best option, but sometimes there's always little hiccups. So I'm gonna click on this new option called Send Me a Magic Link. So what this does, type in my email address. We'll try and email you as quick as we can with a little link that says click here to log in. Go ahead.
Does that email address have to match what is in ClubRunner?
Yes, yeah. We'll tell you, oh, I'm sorry you couldn't find it. So that's a great question. That email can't just be any, some people have like 5 emails. It has to be the one that's in your member profile. But we're hoping that the magic link is a bit faster. Those are 2 ways to log in. Here's the third way. If you don't know how to log in, and we'll go back here, call or email us. It doesn't matter which club you're in, doesn't matter what district you're in. We handle several login requests daily, probably more than that. But yeah, please, we'll help you get in there. It does, like I said, it makes no difference which club or district you're in, so we'll help you out there. So I'm gonna go back here, and so this is the full-blown website, and then I'm already logged in, so I'll go here, and then I've already forgotten my cue, so hold on one second. The next thing is, so now that we're logged into the website, what's the difference? We have the mobile app, I showed you that. This is the full website. So the full website has a ton of features. This is the site that probably intimidates users the most because there's so much happening in the top. The way you navigate around, you click on a blue link at the top, and then you click on a gray link right below that, and you'll get to one section. And there's 20, 30, 40 sections. There's a lot of sections in ClubRunner. Once again, check your access level. I'm logged in as the highest access. It's called a site admin. I can do whatever I feel like. I can click anywhere I want to. You may not have admin access. If you don't, you'll know because you'll go to a section, you won't be able to click on it. It'll be grayed out. So one thing I want to talk about is how much data can we store? And I'm not going to say infinite, but I'm going to say as much data as you need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here on My ClubRunner, this blue button right here, and then I'm going to click the first gray button, My Profile. And I kind of touched on this yesterday, but a lot of people asked me about this yesterday. So when you go edit your profile, is my Wi-Fi good? Sorry. Yep, hopefully Wi-Fi is still okay. When you go and edit your profile, let's try it again. There's some information in your member profile. And like right now, I don't have a photo. I can upload a photo. There's several tabs in your member profile. The first one is personal and Rotary and so on. We actually hold a ton of information about that member. I'm going to scroll down just so you can see. The first is like the vital stats, name, maybe name of your spouse, all that other stuff, email address. And then I'm going to go down here. This is my home address, my work address. I kind of touched on something called a custom field. I want to just elaborate today. What's a custom field? So you have information preset in ClubRunner, like a date of birth and spouse's name. That's fine. What about everything else? Hobbies, we don't store names of Rotarians' children. We don't store a ton of other things. So what you can do is you can create a field specifically for you, for your club. Let's go take a look at that. I'm going to scroll up to the top, and I'm going to go back to the admin page. So I'm going to click here on admin, and then I'm going to click the first gray button, admin. And the admin page is kind of like your landing page. All the major commands you have access to is on your admin page. So I'm going to scroll down the admin page. I'm going to go to the membership section, which is right here. In the membership section, and I'm sorry, I know there's a lot of sections and subsections, we're looking here at custom member fields. And I'm just going to show you what you can do with this. So I'm in a club, and the member profile has a lot of info, but I need XYZ. I need something that ClubRunner doesn't have. So I'm going to click on Add New Field. And for example, we don't have hobbies, but that's just kind of an example, but it can be anything you want. A big one I talked about yesterday, police clearance, right? In fact, let's change hobbies, because hobbies is good. So police clearance, that's kind of like youth work certificate, but either you have the police clearance or you don't, and you need to know if that member does. Oh, and I spelled it wrong, okay. So what you can do is you're adding this field into everybody's profile, and you're saying everybody needs to tell me, do you have police clearance, yes or no? There's a couple different ways you can do that. The date is, when's the last time they got a police clearance, like 4 years ago, meaning they have to get the police clearance again. A flag is yes or no. Do they have a police clearance? Check the box, yes. Nope, they don't have it. So yeah. So in other words, this is a way for you to keep track of all this data. Character means they can actually type in something and say, I went to the police station. I actually had my police clearance a couple of years ago. You go into the police station, all that stuff. If you save this, a couple things happen. This is saved into everybody's member profile, and you can run a query. In other words, you can pull out the information and say, who's got the police clearance? Let me show you. I'm going to click on My ClubRunner, and I'm click on My Profile again, and I'm going to scroll down to the absolute bottom, and now I have a police clearance. I can edit. Remember, every member can edit their own profile. So you don't have to do, the whole point of ClubRunner is you don't have to do all the information or the inputting. We really hope the members will use the app or use a laptop and update their own information. Fingers crossed, because the real world is, but so police clearance, I can edit my own profile information. I made it a text field, so I can just type something in here, and I can say, I got my police clearance whenever. I'm just gonna say, I got it, so, right? So you can see it. And then I'm gonna hit save. Now, that's fine, we have some information. I reported for myself, and you might have a random member putting this information in. I'll go to the bottom here so you can see it. Great, how do you pull this out? Because your club might have 100 members, you're not gonna go through member profile by profile. So what you can do now, because we created this custom field, I'm gonna scroll up to the top again. You can run reports off of all the information in ClubRunner. I'm gonna show you one, and then we'll move on to something else, but I'm gonna show you download member data. We talked about it, once again, we touched on it yesterday, but people have more questions. When you have data in ClubRunner, that's great. How do you pull it out? How do you analyze it and look at it and turn it upside down? I'm gonna click here on reports. And I'm jumping around here. I know some of you, I don't know if any of you are like brand new to ClubRunner. I know at least from yesterday, a lot of you have at least logged in and I kind of know how to click around the system. So I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. But I'm gonna click on reports, and I'm gonna click here on download member data. Is this new to, has everybody run, has anyone never seen download member data before? Just raise your hands really quickly. Okay. So some of you have, which is awesome. If you've seen this report, it's maybe one of our more flexible reports. All the database fields, or most of the database fields, they're all here. City, spouse name, birthday, address, cell phone, all that stuff is here. And look at the end. There's my new custom field. So now I can just say, for example, I can run a report like this. I can say, give me everybody's first name, last name. I'll take their email address and I don't know, maybe their phone number or something like that. I'll take their home phone or whatever. And most importantly, this is what I want. I want the police clearance. And so this is what's going to happen. I'm going to scroll down. And I'm going to skip all this other stuff because I kind of touched on download member data yesterday. I'm going to generate the report. I'm going to count to one. Oh, okay, and then it's done. The reason these reports are so fast, the data is already in there. It's not compiling or rendering or generating. So I'm going to go down to the bottom and click download. And then let's just see. This is a report of everybody in my club. And here, okay, I'm gonna go here. And really the important column is here, so I'm gonna stretch that out. And it's just me. You'll see the word got it beside my name. So the whole point of this is, it's great to have this information, you have to be able to pull it out. And so you can do a lot of that, hopefully, really simply with a little bit of practice. Because all these fields and everything you're accumulating, you need to be able to pull out all that information. All right, any questions at all? I think some of you already know custom. Okay, let's see if I can show you something new with Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna go, we talked a little bit about the website designer yesterday. So I'm gonna click here on website and I'm gonna click on homepage designer. As a show of hands, is any, who's edited their homepage before? Has anybody ever done that? So 2 people, good. So some of you may not have, so I'm going to just give you a very 2-second crash course.
So just a point of clarification, I think yesterday you mentioned you need to have site administrator access to be able to do this, is that correct?
Yeah, thank you for clarifying. So let me go back. You're going to try to edit the homepage. If you are not a site admin, you cannot edit the homepage. You have to have the highest level of access to edit the homepage because now you're messing around with the public website. So
is there a limit on the number of site admins you can have?
Theoretically, everybody could be a site admin. Don't ever do that. That's chaos. You don't want like 30 or 50 site admins. But no, there's no limit. And in fact, like in some districts, we have, I think, like 20, 30 site admins. We talk to the districts because we're like, oh, 30 admins, that's a lot of people. All those site admins, they can delete what they want. They can remove, like they don't know the power sometimes of being a site admin, and they think they're on a test site and they accidentally delete like 20 members. So it happens. We undo it. It's not a big deal, but it's better to have a limited amount of site admins because they have full run to do anything they feel like doing. So I'm going to click on, because I'm a site admin, I have the ability to click website, and then the second button right here, homepage designer. I'm going to edit the homepage. And then very briefly, this is the layout of the homepage designer. Up at the top is all the mobile views. So make sure that if you're testing or whoever is in charge of your website, this is probably a really innocuous but really important button. You can simulate what your website looks like on a phone here. And that's really important. I think I mentioned this, I'll mention it again. I mentioned it yesterday. I guarantee it, you don't have to tell me your name or club or district. I guarantee at least 50% of your website visitors are on a phone. It's probably closer to 75 or 80% or whatever. Most people are using their phones to surf the web. So your homepage should look at least decent and legible on a phone. This will give you a kind of preview of that. And I can already see this margin's a little broken for my Instagram. Anyways, but take a look at your website. I mean, another easy way is just navigate to your homepage using your phone browser. But we can do that for you inside the website designer. I'm gonna go back to edit. The way that the homepage designer works, you have content on the left side. This is your layout and where everything is. And on the right side is all the elements you can put in. We call all the elements widgets. That's why you'll see the word widget all over the place. A widget is just a little block. It's just a little, if your website is a jigsaw puzzle, then these are all your jigsaw puzzle pieces. And that's what a widget is. It's one single jigsaw puzzle. It can be the stories widget, jigsaw puzzle piece. It can be events. It can be all these different things. So if you like my, this is an embedded Instagram. Actually, let me show you the end result and we'll talk about this. I'm gonna actually, here, I'll scroll up and I can click on view live page and I can actually view this page, okay? So what a lot of clubs have started to do, this is Rotary International, but let's pretend it's a club. They put their club's Facebook feed front and center. So this does a couple things. First of all, it's their live Facebook feed. It's automatically updating. You never have to touch it again. Once you place the Facebook feed on here, it's on here forever. Secondly, there's clubs where people are a little bit hesitant to use ClubRunner, or like, I'm not really sure how to, there's something called a story. It's like a blog post, but then I got to log into ClubRunner and do all this other stuff. What a lot of people are not afraid to do is post on Facebook. Hey, I'm Mickey and I help the club. I got the login for the club's Facebook. So for example, this event, right? You take a couple pictures, you throw up a Facebook feed, or a Facebook post, I'm sorry. It'll automatically update on your homepage. So in other words, we're looking for things that are like kind of like set it and forget it. So you have something, you place it, and then you just forget about it forever. And then you get the people editing your Facebook page to do all the work for you. So as soon as the Facebook updates, your homepage will update automatically too. You can do the exact same thing for other social media feeds. This is, once again, Rotary International, but pretend it's your club. Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, I don't even know all the different types of social media feeds out there. So this is, once again, a live Instagram feed. If anything updates, it'll update on the homepage as well. I'm gonna show you briefly, and I'm gonna try to, here, let me get rid of this. Here's how to insert Facebook. I'll go here, and what I'll do is I'm going to click here on Bulletin and PR, and I'm going to go down to the Facebook page plugin, and I'm going to try and do this one-handed. Okay, two-handed. And I go here. Okay, so here's the Facebook feed, and right off the bat, it doesn't look like much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over this thing and click the gear icon, and what I can do is I can put in the URL of the Facebook feed. Now this is the Facebook feed for Facebook. We don't want that. I'm just going to do Rotary's Facebook, and I'm going to grab their URL. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to grab, this is the Facebook page for Rotary International, and it's right there. So it's Facebook/Rotary. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to bring it in here, sorry. I'm going to bring it into here. So I'm going to get rid of all this, and I'm going to paste this into here. I'm going to click 3 buttons, okay? Show the timeline, show the events, and show the messages. The timeline, what's happening in your Facebook timeline, like the live updates, what kind of Facebook events have you posted, and then any messages. You can decide to turn all that stuff off. The second I click save, I'm done. So once again, right, you set this, you forget it, the Facebook is on now. I'll click publish on my homepage, and now this is now on there, and you basically don't have to worry about updating the Facebook, because hopefully somebody else is in charge of that. Oh, go ahead.
If you have a couple of identities on Facebook, like I have my personal, but I also run the sites or club's site. If I link it to the club site, is there any chance that any of the crazy stuff I post is going to end up on that?
No. We only post, you could technically post 2 Facebook feeds, but you don't want to do that. So yeah, they're not connected. So if you post your club's Facebook, that's it. That's the only thing that'll show. You have to drag in another widget and manually link to your personal one in order to see your personal Facebook stuff. It's a great question.
Follow-up question?
Yeah.
Can I put on my Facebook account and Rotary International?
Sure. Yeah, you can do the clubs. So this Facebook feed, you can drag it on 10 times and have 10 different Facebook feeds if you want to. So you put on the Facebook, your club's one, and then you can put the RI below it or something like that. This is technically the RI Facebook feed right here. But yeah, you can put in, it's called an instance. You can just copy, you can make several instances or copies of the Facebook. So you can have your personal one, club, RI, I don't know, anything else you want.
That's been the toughest thing for us, is to find somebody who will keep updating ClubRunner. So this is like, this is treasure.
Well, the Facebook is huge. I used to think it was small because it's like you drag something on, you paste the URL, it's like, okay. But the thing that I learned is the stuff that's small for me it can be huge for a club, because what this means is I put this on, okay, now I'm done. I click publish, that's the end of my job. Now it's up to the social media team. They just do their thing. You never have to look at the site again. It'll constantly update. It does help slightly with, if anybody's concerned or has a SEO, search engine optimization, you now have something that's constantly updating. It kind of forces Google to constantly update and go, Google will crawl the entire internet, right? It'll find your own club site. So it does help a little bit with SEO that way. But thank you, that's, yes, yeah, please, yeah.
So will ClubRunner scrape Facebook in any way for events? Or, I mean, if I make a Facebook event, is there any way to make it show up as a ClubRunner event?
Oh, no, but so you want, ClubRunner doesn't scan your Facebook feed yet, we can't, but it is something we're looking into. So the short answer is no, but it is something we're kind of investigating, like maybe,
Isn't that what the events tab is for?
It is, but we don't actively kind of like, oh, you posted an event on Facebook, ClubRunner doesn't ding or give you a notification or anything. Yeah, I am going to show you one thing. Okay, now I'm going to get off topic, and that's fine, because that's a great question. Where's my, here, I'll just go to the events. Okay. So, every club website, every ClubRunner club website, right, has a calendar. Here, I'll show you this one. This is a calendar. Your calendar is going to look the same. You're going to have events. You're going to have all this other stuff. Now, this is not Facebook at all. This is a different way of working, and this is, I hate to use the word Easter egg, but sometimes it happens where people don't realize your club calendar can feed Google, Microsoft Outlook, and Apple Calendar. Here's how this works. Anybody, it doesn't have to be a Rotarian, nobody needs to know a login or anything. They navigate to your club calendar. Your club calendar hopefully has a ton of stuff, speakers, all this stuff that's going on. At the very bottom, there's this button that a lot of people overlook that says subscribe to calendar. I'm gonna click on it, and what this does is it gives the user instructions on how to integrate the club calendar into their Google, Outlook, or Apple. So what that means is, let's say you have, a lot of people have iPhones, so you have your Apple Calendar, your club website, your Rotary Club, becomes a new feed for your calendar. So when the website admins or whoever, they create a new event, let's say you have a golf tournament in June, whatever it is, they don't have to look, it just automatically posts and puts themselves into their Apple Calendar or Google or Outlook Calendar. So in other words, your club site becomes a feed, an event feed for all the members, or actually anybody. It doesn't have to be a Rotarian. Any questions about that? Yeah. So hopefully that helps a little bit, because it's not the same Facebook integration, but hopefully that'll help a little bit. What I wanted to okay, I'll show it very quickly. Actually, no, I'm going to move on. If anybody has questions about like Instagram or LinkedIn feeds and how to do something that's not a Facebook feed, please come see me. Because if you'll notice, I put in the Instagram feed last night. I just wanted to make sure all the feeds work. But and Facebook has one process, and then to make Instagram feeds and LinkedIn and all has a bit of a different process. I'm going to move on, but if you have any questions, please do ask. I'd love to show you how to do that. So I want to talk about this one particular club. It's more to give you an idea. Hold on. LHARotary.org. So a lot of clubs, one of the things is money and community outreach. This is slightly non-technical, so we're going to move away from like websites and Facebook feeds and all that. Oh, all right, okay. So I'm going to need two hands. Give me one sec. Okay. Lake area. Okay, I can't type today. Lake area, Houston Rotary. There it is. Okay, I think I got that right. So the reason I want to show you this club, we're going to skip over basically most of the club. It's all here at the very bottom right. Okay, so this is a very active club. I think it's fairly large in the Houston area. Now this thing, sometimes it doesn't, my Wi-Fi is a little wonky today, so I want to, there it, okay. This seems fairly small, community sponsors. Okay, what is this? So your club needs money. Every club needs money, and you have to fundraise, and simultaneously, You have to get your club publicized. You have to have your club known. It's one thing to have a Rotary club. Maybe the community has no idea that your Rotary club exists. Here's what Lake Area Houston did. They canvassed their community and they went to the different businesses and said, hi, I'm Mark or Mickey or Jane or whatever. I'm from the Rotary Club. Would you be willing to advertise on our homepage? It's like 20 bucks a year, 50 bucks, some nominal fee that the organization will just use as a tax write-off. So the symbiosis is here. You're doing outreach to that community person, accountant, car salesman, doesn't matter. And by the way, sometimes Rotarians are like, hey, cool, I can advertise on the homepage. Yeah, sign me up. It's 20 bucks a year, whatever it is. So now you're getting a tiny bit of revenue. And then, but more importantly, you're doing some outreach. Now, Lake Area Houston, they spent some time, they canvassed the community. All of these companies that are scrolling are sponsoring this club. And you know, they might not get a lot of websites, or like the home care family, maybe they'll get 10 clicks a year or something, but like I said, the tiny nominal fee, $20 or $50 a year that they pay, it's just a tax write-off for that company. So, you know, the money is marginal. Now, I haven't talked to this club recently, but the last time I talked to them, their ClubRunner is free because the money they generate from all these, you know, just a little $20, $50 fees, it pays for the entire website every year. And then they get more people on board. And more importantly, when they do events and all that stuff, these are the first companies they go to. Will you become our gold sponsor for our poker tournament, whatever? So it's just something for you to think about. I don't have like the logistics, but I will give you the URL. It is lharotary.com. Please do reach out. Rotarians are super, super friendly. I've probably had a bunch of people bug this club for a lot of, because this is here, you just go up here, there's a contact us button, but talk to them. How do they set this up? What are the logistics? I actually don't know, but I do know the website admins are super friendly. I've talked to them in the past. This is just an idea to kind of plant in your head, because like, you know, membership and, retention, outreach, and money is an important thing. And this little ad doesn't really seem that big a deal, but it is kind of a big deal because of the work they put in to get these sponsors. Any questions at all? Fantastic. All right. So I think we're going to move on to Nova. So let's see if it logged me out of here. So you've seen, actually, let me go back to ClubRunner. So I'm going to go back here. This is ClubRunner. Oh, here, sorry. And you know it, you might use it. Here, I'll go back. So ClubRunner, it's got the blue menu along the top blue tabs, and it's got the, the little gray submenu. Here, let's go back here. All right. Okay. I'm stuck in an infinite loop. Okay, cool. All right, so give me 1 second here. Let's go back here. So this is the version of ClubRunner that we've had for, I'm going to say 10 years. Like, it's been around for quite a while. It's the version that everybody's used to. I know how to use this. I talk to people, I've been a bulletin editor for 5 years, so they're very used to it. So we're going to we actually have already started upgrading ClubRunner. We're just doing it as slow as we possibly can. So you might have heard that little buzzword. It's our buzzword, ClubRunner Nova. All that means is it's the next version of ClubRunner. It's really big. It's a huge deal for us and for some clubs that are a bit scared of it. So we'll just talk about it for a second. So first of all, why are we upgrading ClubRunner? It works. It's not like it's broken. Unfortunately, that's not how technology works. We have to upgrade. One of the big, huge things is ClubRunner needs to be faster. I've talked to at least 3 people yesterday, and they showed me like that ClubRunner does run a bit slow. It depends on their device and their internet connection, but still, we're not as fast. We'll never be as fast as like Apple or Google, because they actually spend like billions of dollars on servers, not millions, billions on their servers. Anyways, that doesn't mean we should be we can't be faster. So one of the big things, ClubRunner Nova, when every club is on ClubRunner Nova, ClubRunner will be uniformly faster across the board. So that's a big reason. Another big reason is this interface, it scares a lot of people. It's intimidating. It's a lot of stuff. If I'm a level 70, I can click like 3 of these things. So why are you showing me like 20 things more? So Nova will hide what you don't have access to. If you're a level 70 regular member, you're not going to see everything coming at you all at once. As you start upgrading your access levels, then your menus will expand. And the last thing, a lot of the upgrades that we're really, really excited about, I'll give you a random example, it's not ready yet. Why can't you take attendance with your phone? Why not, right? You scan a little QR code, like that is something, I'm not saying we're gonna have that next week, but all the things that we really want to do, we're gonna do it in Nova. So saying that, and by the way, Nova, zero cost, it's free, you're not gonna get, oh, please go ahead.
So, timing for Nova?
It's out, it's ready to go. You can install it tomorrow. Now, most clubs are not gonna do that. So it's already out, it's ready to go, and here's how we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this as slow as we possibly can. It's your timing, it's your speed. The best time to upgrade to Nova is when your board members are comfortable. The practical time is when you and the people, like the tech leaders, are kind of like, okay, that's enough, we got to update at some point, because most people will not be comfortable. Sometimes it's just a matter of, okay, let's update. Go ahead.
And then the second question is, will the accessibility, will the app be as robust as the website?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. So what Nova doesn't do, it doesn't change your homepage in any way. It doesn't change the app in any way for now. We're gonna add more features to the app, but we don't wanna scare people too much. If we change everything all at once, then they'll really be very scared. So Nova is the member area only. That's the only thing it'll change to start with. It's gonna change a lot more, maybe next year, maybe in 2 years. But for now, you upgrade to Nova, you're only updating your member area. You're not updating anything else. There will be app updates, by the way. I'll just tell you about it. We're really, really, really excited. We're gonna have, WhatsApp groups, right? A lot of people, my committee, my board members. So the mobile app will have its own version of WhatsApp groups. It's called mobile chat in ClubRunner. It's not vaporware. In other words, we've seen like little working demos and stuff. So that's the only reason I'm blurting this out. I have no idea when it'll be released. But our team is like, that we have the app notification feature, which is really useful to a lot of clubs, but to everybody else has been asking, when are you doing a chat? So we'll be doing a chat. But Nova doesn't affect that at all. Nova is just the member area. Let's go take a look. So this is the member area in standard ClubRunner. And then I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here. And this is what Nova looks like. So now everything is running down the left menu. If you've ever logged into My Rotary, or if you're a WordPress user, it's very, very familiar. That's exactly the analogy we used. We wanted it to look a bit more like what a lot of our Rotarians are used to. They're used to Rotary, they're used to WordPress. We have thousands of WordPress users. So now the menus are running down the left side. I'm a website admin, I get access to all the menus. If I was a level 70, I'd see like 3 of those menus. So we hide those menus right away. Another big thing in ClubRunner Nova is we were kind of a bit restrictive before. You have a member profile, then you have a contact, and you have like a prospect. You have all these different ways to like handle members, non-members. We got rid of all that. We created what's called a person profile. So here, I'm gonna go, I'll actually look at mine. So now everybody has a gigantic amount of information in their profile. A contact, a prospect, other users, everybody is gonna have the same amount of information. Why? Because we want an easy transition from, hey, I met Sue, she's a contact, she was a speaker, and now she's an attendance guest, whatever. And then maybe 6 months or a year from now, Sue becomes a Rotarian. So why not just capture all our information here, and then you can just push Sue up the chain, and fingers crossed, the goal is that little contact or attendance guest one day becomes a Rotarian, and you've got all this information about Sue. So that's why we're trying to break those walls between all that stuff. So this is, you've seen member profiles in ClubRunner we showed at the beginning. This is a member profile in Nova. There's 2, well, there's actually more than just 2, but 2 of the big changes are documents. I can now store a document inside the member. So if this person has a police clearance or whatever, I can store a PDF certificate inside their profile itself and then go look it up 6 months from now. So you can actually attach a document to a person now, not just, there's a document section in ClubRunner which has files. The person can have files. The person can also have notes, so you can say, you know, whatever you want here, you can just add your notes and put in whatever you need to. A big thing is there's a new, oh, I'm sorry, any questions about that, about any of this? Yeah, please.
Is access to the notes restricted by the level of?
Yes, so the member profiles themselves, like if I'm a person, if I'm, what's her name? Daisy? If I'm Daisy, I can access my own stuff, but I can't access everybody else's. If I'm an executive or an admin, then I can go touch other people's things, to other people's profiles. So it is restricted in that way. If I'm a regular member, I can do what I need to my profile, but I can't go edit other people's profiles.
But Daisy's, I'm sorry.
No, go, please.
Daisy's profile, I can't put in there, met with her this day or whatever.
Of course, if
As
you...
an administrator, I can, but then at some point, if she became a member, I'd want to erase all that because it might have my thoughts about our.
Oh, yeah, you can get rid of the notes. Like if you're, I guess if you're an admin, you can do whatever you want. So yeah, you can add the note, and then 6 months later, like, oh, I don't want that, so you can delete it. And I believe Daisy can too, but you can do it as well, as long as you have the access. Please.
And then the member type, if she's simply a speaker that you think down the road may make a good member, how do you classify that?
There's something called a tag. So you can tag members, non-members, whatever combination you want. And a tag is just, so, okay, there's active and honorary, that's a designation. But what I mean by a tag is this person's a speaker, or this person, you know, a business owner or mild interest or whatever. And so you can search through tags of people, you know, and say, who are all my prospects? Give me that. I want a list of all those people who are like potential Rotarians or at least have shown interest. So that's this is a tag right here. It's a donor. Because she's donated to whatever you know, cause or whatever you need. So you can create multiple tags, and one person can have like 20 tags, and it just means that now you can search through all these various tags and pull out all the people who match a certain criteria. But thank you for asking that. Any other questions about this? I don't want to move on too fast, but so we're trying to kind of up the game here. Just as an example, this is not only an enhanced member profile, and we want to store more information, we want to give the user more access to you know, their information. If I click on the activity report, okay, what is this? How has Daisy interacted with the website this Rotary year? We had to make up something, we call them participation points. Is Daisy registering for events compared to last year? Is she on a board? So how's her attendance? Is it lower than last year? Cumulatively, you can compare the participation points from this year to last year. And this is like a whole kind of spectrum, or like, how do you actually look at someone and say, you know, their membership is declining. They're like, their participation was 95 last year, and this year's like 20, because their attendance is low. They haven't signed up to one event. They're not on any board. Like, in other words, the members, the executives of the committee, how engaged are your members? So we tried to give it a numerical value called a participation point. You can pull up reports and say, how are these people doing? I'm really concerned about Daisy because she's just not showing up to meetings anymore, or all that stuff. So this is just a kind of an overview of what's been going on inside ClubRunner just for Daisy. And you can see what she's been up to. You can see how she's been, you know, doing and signing up for committees and events and all that stuff. It's all on one page, which you can export, by the way. So that's kind of another way we really want to see how useful we can make this, how you can measure certain things like engagement, which can be ephemeral sometimes, right? How engaged is that person? Now you have at least a numerical value attached to it. And then with Nova, one of the big things is some of the new, actually before I get to new, if you're used to doing things in the standard ClubRunner, the old ClubRunner, right? You create a bulletin, you edit the website. That hasn't changed. So for example, I showed you the website designer. I'm going to go down here to, where is it? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, there it is, website. And then I'm going to go to designer home, and I'm going to edit the home page in Nova. And you'll see the homepage is, here, let me get this little menu out of the way so you have more space. I'm gonna click this arrow to get the menu out of the way. It's slightly more, here, I'll go like this. It's more or less the same designer. It hasn't changed. So if you're learning the website designer today, you don't have to relearn it for Nova. And that applies to about 95% of ClubRunner. If you're bulletins and committees and emails and all that stuff, if you're learning in standard ClubRunner, just keep using it in Nova. We're not changing the modules yet. Once again, change has to be slow. We have like tens of thousands of members. We don't want them to be too scared. We want a nice, easy transition, which will take place over a year or two. Like realistically, we can change this stuff tomorrow. We don't actually need anybody. We can click a button and just make all this live in all our sites, and we will lose like half our customers. So we're gonna do this very slowly, and you'll have your time to kind of work on this and see this and talk about it with your board. And when you're comfortable upgrading to Nova, you can upgrade to Nova. But the actual modules themselves, if you're learning bulletins or whatever, it's gonna be the same in Nova or standard. The interface will be slightly different, but not that different. Okay, so here, let's go like this. So the new modules, probably the biggest new module in Nova is called financials. So we're gonna, we have the dues and billing. Dues and billing means I have members and I'm sending them invoices. I talked to someone, they're doing quarterly invoices, right? Or monthly or whatever. So the financials is kind of like a rethinking of all that. Like, okay, that's fine. You can still do that. You can still send out invoices to members. Now you can send out invoices to non-members. So you can invoice like vendors or whoever you need to in financials. Now you can say, you know what? We've had 3 events this year so far. What's our event revenue? So we need to figure that out. So that's what financials does, is it says, okay, let's look at all the revenue from events, from donations, from member dues, all of that. So the financials, we just want to add a lot more functionality to it. So there's a lot more things you can do in the financial module. Of course, it's going to export out to QuickBooks. So there is QuickBooks integration, and that way you can start in ClubRunner and then end up in QuickBooks. We have some bigger clubs, they actually hire a bookkeeper. So all of that stuff is here. All of that stuff is ready to go. Now, I'm not going to do a deep dive into financials because I think it's kind of its own little 1 hour webinar thing, just because it's got a lot going on in the financials module. But any questions at all about this module? Fantastic. All right, great. So what I'm going to do is actually here. Let me just see. No, I don't want to get too deep into the weeds. Does anyone have any questions at all about anything? Yeah, please. No, not at all. In fact, a lot of clubs, they just use ClubRunner for most of their stuff. QuickBooks is for the larger clubs that do have QuickBooks. Yeah. Any other questions at all? Fantastic. All right. Is there anything that anybody would like to see? It doesn't have to be about Nova or anything like that. Does anybody have any questions, issues, something's not working right? Yeah, please.
What replaces the dues and billing module?
It will be this. It will be financials. So if you're using dues and billing, that's going to be a bit of a change when you upgrade to Nova, because that process is slightly different in standard dues and billing versus the ClubRunner financials module. So basically financials is going to be replacing dues and billing, and it works a bit differently. But the core concepts are the same, but it is a little bit different. Are there any other questions at all? Oh, please.
If your district isn't currently using ClubRunner, and a club decides to go with ClubRunner,
yes.
How is the communication, like a lot of our communication comes through the district. How will the district then communicate with us? That's an excellent question. So every club in the world, every Rotary club in the world has the right to choose whatever DACDB, ClubRunner, there's actually a lot more. There's like Club Express. There's all these other vendors out there. So you can choose anything you want. So I'll give you the metaphor or whatever. Let's say your club is on ClubRunner, the district is on DACDB, and then the third level is Rotary International. So your club is using ClubRunner. Now,
ClubRunner and DACDB don't talk to each other. So in terms of the databases, I mean, so the databases don't talk to each other. We do talk to DACDB there, you know, we're friendly competitors. You can't, what you do is you make a member change. Someone's email changes, you know, address, all that stuff. You add a member, terminate a member. So you take that information from ClubRunner, you bypass the district, and you skip and go up to RI. When the change goes to RI, the DACDB district says, hey, look, the RI has made a change, and it grabs it from RI. It's called secondary integration. ClubRunner is your first database because that's the one that's communicating to RI. But then you can set up a second database, DACDB, and it'll read from Rotary International and grab those changes. So if half their club's email addresses change, DACDB can still grab that information from myrotary.org because myrotary.org is reading from ClubRunner.
So the district will still be able to communicate with us?
Yes.
Send us?
Yeah, that's it's kind of I don't know the right words, a misnomer or something like, oh, the district is with X, so everybody has to be with X or Y or whatever. It's not really the case. There's ways to work. In fact, we call them mixed districts. The district is using one thing, and the clubs are a mix of DACDB, ClubRunner, and even some other lesser known vendors. So you can absolutely do that. If your club's on ClubRunner and your district's on DACDB, you can absolutely make it work. If the district has, sometimes they send out, what's the word, like requirements or something, that's the district's prerogative, but your Rotary doesn't say you have to use whatever the district is using. It's your right to use anything you want to use. But thank you for asking that. Any other questions at all? All right. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do is here, let's go back here. Once again, this is probably the most important screen. So here, I'll just go here. So if you're curious about ClubRunner, or kind of like want to find out, actually here, before I get to this, I'll show you this. So for anybody who's kind of ClubRunner curious, we have a free trial. So and I just want to, maybe that's a good way just to, for those who don't have ClubRunner, it doesn't matter, there we go. So you can try ClubRunner for 30 days. There's no obligation, there's no charge, and none of that stuff. You'll have a fully functioning website. You can test everything. You can see if it's for you. If it's not for you, just walk away. So there's no obligation or anything like that. That's how most of our customers get on board with ClubRunner, is they try us for a month and then see if it's right for them, get the board members involved. And then, okay, I wanted to show that. And now I'll go back to here. And does anybody have any other questions at all? All right. Fantastic. I'm gonna let you go then. You get a couple extra minutes. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all the questions the last 2 days. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you.